Hey everyone, Matt at Triple Locked Adventures. Thank you for joining me this week. This week I've got another little life update video for you guys. Today, well, the day I'm filming this is the day after Thanksgiving. So first off, happy Thanksgiving everyone. I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving time with their family or their friends, or if you were traveling like we were last year. I don't know if you guys were aware, but last year Danielle and I were actually in the Arizona desert for Thanksgiving. Probably, I think at that point we were starting to head home, but we spent a month out west traveling. So if you guys are traveling, I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving as well. I know some of you van life guys may be alone in your van, so I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Love to all of you guys. But I wanted to give guys some life updates on a few things, and yeah, some updates on the vehicle, some updates on my life, all kinds of fun stuff. So first thing I wanted to go over, we did go to Vermont a couple weekends ago. We did some camping, which was awesome. That was really fun. I'll throw a little screen video I took. I got a new iPhone, which is going to be pretty nice too. I got Verizon had a deal for a trade-in program, so I finally got a new iPhone, which will provide some better video footage. This footage is going to be shot on a GoPro just because it's in my truck, but you'll probably see some of that starting to roll out. I'm still trying to figure out all the codecs and the new stuff and the ProRes, and if you guys are videographer people, shoot some comments below, because I'm trying to learn how to edit it, and you know, how to edit things, and how to use LUTs, and how to use DaVinci Resolve properly with the new footage, and all that kind of stuff. So learning a lot there. But yeah, like I said, I'll throw that video over of the trip in Vermont. We found a really cool campsite. I don't want to tell you guys where it is because it's kind of like it's a free spot. It's kind of a remote spot off of a primitive road. I believe it might be closed in the winter. I'm not sure on that or not. I can't remember if there was a sign for winter closure or not. But yeah, it's a kind of a primitive road. It's gravel, not too rough. There's a couple kind of rocky off-camber sections with some mud holes, but nothing. I mean, honestly, there's like Subarus back there, so it's nothing crazy. But it's a nice little spot that we know about. It's about a 6-hour drive from us, and we were able to camp out. We found a really nice campsite on I don't want to call it a river, but kind of a bigger creek, and it was really nice. It was right on the creek, had a big campsite. You could fit a lot of cars. I'm sure you saw that in a little video that I panned around. It was a little chilly at night. It was like 30s at night. So we were a little chilly. I would definitely am looking at some sort of heater for the tent, especially as we start exploring more winter camping. It's something that we typically have not done in the past. So that's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, that was fun. One insult to injury, I boneheadedly, as we all, you know, usually when you get hurt, this is what happens. But there was like a little dog toy on the other side of the little creek there, and I decided, oh, I'll just jump across these little rocks on the creek, and I had dislocated / maybe broke my ring finger. So I'm not able to, I'm still healing up. It functions and all that stuff, but it's still a little sore, and if you can kind of see, it's kind of swollen. So I'm not able to put my ring back on, which is very weird. After 7 years of marriage, I can't wear my ring right now, which is really weird. So healing up from that, but that was a really good trip. I actually did not do any footage of us really from camping. It's kind of just nice to unplug. There was no service. We did do a lot of class 4 roads and some wheeling and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy or technical, but you know, some fun exploring and a lot of like class 4 roads out in Vermont. Like I said, I didn't really do a lot of footage. Kind of regret that, but at the same time, it was nice to just be with the wife and the dog and unplug. What other life updates? Let's talk about truck stuff. So if you guys have been following some of my videos lately, I did install a new alternator in the vehicle, and that has been awesome. I now have a 270 amp alternator from DC Power. There's kind of a long story on that. So I had an OEM alternator in this that lasted, I don't know, 120,000 miles or something. and we were on a big trip in the Ozarks in Arkansas, and we went through a very deep mud hole, silty mud nastiness, and immediately, long story short, we typically use sticks to figure out how deep holes are, and this one we tried to pick the best line. There was like 3 massive water spot, like mud holes that you had to go through. We tried to pick the best one, and as soon as the front dipped into it, half of my bumper went into the hole. So I was like, oh no. It was super deep, and I was able to quickly put it in reverse, throw both lockers on, and get us out. But in that process, 3 seconds after pulling out, light on the dash came on, battery, everything. So I was like, oh no, the alternator's gone. So on that trip, the alternator did go. We were able to get ourselves about, I don't remember how many miles, but 3-4 miles or something on relatively pretty treacherous trails to the side of a road where our alternator ultimately, well, the alternator was already dead, but the battery finally died, and we got very lucky on that trip. I don't remember the name of the shop, but a guy named Eric just happened to be driving by, and he happened to be a Toyota technician. He was a mechanic, a local mechanic. He happened to be a Toyota guy. He had an old, was it a 4th gen 4Runner? I think it was a 4th gen, maybe a 3rd gen 4Runner. I'm trying to remember. I think it was a 4th gen. But yeah, he had a 4Runner, and he was very familiar. We swapped batteries. He got me down to a local little corner store, and ironically, he was going to go hunting that day, and he was actually going to go meet his friend for hunting, and in the process of doing that, another one of his friends with a Jeep had called, and their radiator went. So he was actually on his way to go fix their radiator, and husband and wife, and the wife of the couple gave me actually a ride about 40 minutes. I didn't know that at the time, but 40 minutes into another town to get an alternator. So I had put just like a Napa, maybe it was O'Reilly's, I don't remember. I had put just whatever alternator they had in stock that was correct for my vehicle, and he helped me put it in on the side of the road. And if you guys are familiar with GX460s, putting alternators in these is not easy, especially on the gravel in a relatively cold climate on the side of the road. So that was not fun, but we got that in there, and that lasted maybe 2 or 3 years. And Eric even told me at the time, he's like, hey, this will get you home, this will work, but he's like, you should put an OEM one or something else back in this, because these alternators don't last very long. And I knew that, and I just pushed it for too long. So that alternator did end up giving up the smoke, and I run a little gauge in my vehicle. If you want to watch the video on the alternator I actually bought, I'll put a link in the top right for you guys. You guys can watch that. But I put a high output alternator, and it's been awesome. My dual ARB compressor runs so much better now. My secondary battery system has a 30 amp DC to DC charger on it. That runs a lot better. Just everything seems to be running a lot better with that alternator. I do have an electrical draw on my system still, though, that I need to figure out. Without going into too long of details, because I don't want to make this video foreverly long, but almost everything accessories on my vehicle runs off of my secondary 205 amp hour lithium battery system, but a few things still run off of the main battery. Nothing has changed though, so I've been trying to figure out what would be causing this parasitic draw, because really haven't changed anything on the systems, and they've all been installed for a while. So couple things that run off of my main battery system is my Switch Pros, that runs most of my exterior lights, and my lockers, and my sway bar disconnect. All that's been there for 4 years or so. That hasn't been touched. My remote start system runs off of it. I feel like I would have noticed that by now if there was some sort of issue, but... And what else? My radar detector runs off that, but the radar detector only turns on when the vehicle is on. It's run by ignition source, so as soon as I start up the vehicle, the radar detector turns on. And then I do have my ARB dual compressor is hooked up to the main battery, but it also is ran on a switch. So that switch, the compressor turns on and off with that switch, and it still works. And I did find one thing on my ARB compressor when I was kind of plugging around, is I found that my dual ARB compressor has only been running on one compressor for I don't know how long, because I was checking the fuses, and if you guys are familiar with dual ARB compressors, they have two inline 40 amp large maxi fuses on those compressors, 40 amp for each. I think they actually run at 30 amps each, so 60 amps, which is quite a bit, but it has two separate fuses for each one, and I found one of the fuses was completely blown. Pretty bad too. So somewhere down the line, maybe when that alternator went and I was running on really low voltage, we did try to air up our tires. Maybe that was way too low a voltage and caused a spike in that system and maybe killed that. I don't know. But it killed one of my ARB fuses. So I don't know how long, but we've only been airing up with one compressor. So I got a new fuse, put that in there, and the ARB compressor is like so much smoother, so much quieter, and it airs up twice as fast. So I don't know how long we've been dealing with that, but that's fixed. So that was fun. But on talking back on the things that are on that main system, I also have an auxiliary transmission cooler on this vehicle, and that auxiliary transmission cooler, I hooked up a fan. So I have an auxiliary fan, and that's designed more for when I'm going slower speeds or whatever, and that is hooked up with a switch that goes through a relay, and I know that the switch works, and I know the relay works and all that stuff. So anyway, I'm going to be doing some parasitic draw tests on the vehicle pretty soon. I've been wanting to, I got to charge up the battery, make sure everything's good. I might do a video on that, so let me know, you guys, in the description below if you're interested in a parasitic draw test. I know not everybody is familiar with it or how it works, so I'd be happy to make a video on it. If you're interested, just shoot some comments below. It is getting to winter, so it's kind of a pain to work on stuff in my driveway, but I'd be happy to do that if you guys are interested. But so I'll be doing that soon. I think that really wraps it up on the truck. I've been kind of doing little things. I'm still designing my drawer system for the back. I really want to do, originally I was going to do it out of 3/4 inch birch and do it all out of wood with, drawer slides, all that stuff, but I'm a little concerned about the weight. So I might be going with 80/20 now. I'm a little concerned though, because it doesn't matter which way I look at it, it's proving to be more expensive than I kind of thought. I think in one of my previous videos I had talked about Goose Gear's price and how I think their pricing is a little high, but when you start factoring in, the quality of the product that they offer, the slides that they use, the latches, all that stuff, and then especially when you consider the labor that's involved and the CNC machines and all the stuff they do, it makes sense. And now that I'm starting to really look at the stuff and price it, their stuff isn't that expensive, to be honest. I can't swing it, and honestly, I need a more custom tailored system than the, I don't want to say cookie cutter, but the cookie cutter options they have, their solutions for the GX460 or in general don't really fit my specific needs. I really want a custom system, but I'm still working on that project. It's going to take a lot of design work, and it's also, I think I'm going to have to save up a decent amount of money because it's proving to be more expensive in my estimates than I thought. So, talking about money, I had alluded to this in the past, but it is now official. I did get that job. So I do still work with my wife's business, doing all the things I do there. That's kind of my, always has been my bread and butter. Of course, I do YouTube, and thanks to you guys, we are over 1,000 subscribers now. So I do earn a little bit of money off of ads, so you guys appreciate that. By no means is it a lot of money. It doesn't even pay for gas for a week. So it's not a lot of money, but it does help. So I appreciate that, guys. And as always, any links in the description from Amazon and stuff, I earn small commissions on that too. So really appreciate you guys. That does help me put money back into this channel. But the job. So I did land a job. It is a 1099 position. So I'm like an independent contractor for Cars and Bids. If you guys are cars guys, you may be familiar with Cars and Bids. If you aren't, you are probably familiar with Doug DeMuro. And I do work for Doug DeMuro now. So I work on the editorial staff. I'm still kind of in the training process, but I'm officially on their team, and it's been really fun. I kind of handle the editorial side of all of their online listings for cars. So it's been really fun. It's a really cool group of people. I think from my kind of inner estimates, there's maybe about 50 employees, so it's a really small team. a lot of car enthusiasts, a lot of just really great people, great characters, 100% remote, which is really nice because it allows me to work remotely, which is really nice, especially in this overland kind of field and community. You know, the ultimate goal, I think, for a lot of us is how do we work, you know, how do we sustain being able to travel and make money at the same time? And from what I've found, a lot of people do a lot of little things. You do YouTube, you do, you know, a remote job, you do everything you kind of can to support the lifestyle. So that's kind of what I do, guys. But I'm super excited about that. It's been really fun, both mentally stimulating, learning new skills and a new job and meeting new people and all that stuff. But it's also been fun. I like to do a lot of different things, so having multiple kind of careers going on all at once is it's really rewarding because I'm never doing the same thing every day. I kind of am spread out between the different things, and it's really fun. So those are some big updates that have been going on the vehicle in my personal life. Like I mentioned, we went camping. I am still very interested in doing some winter camping. We have not really had any snow. You guys probably can't tell, but we did get a little bit of snow last night, but unfortunately the area where I live doesn't really get a lot of snow. Where I grew up, which isn't that far from here, I grew up more towards Buffalo, New York, if you guys are familiar with that area. I actually grew up just outside of Batavia, in Elba, New York, if you guys are familiar with that. Nobody knows where that is, but it's a very small town. And where I grew up, whether we got snow from Lake Ontario or Lake Erie, the area I lived in got snow from both areas. So I always grew up riding snowmobiles and four-wheelers and playing in the snow and all that stuff. And where I live now, we don't really get that much snow, really. So I've been really waiting for some good snow because I want to try winter wheeling, especially with these new Mickey Thompson tires and the beadlock wheels. I'm really interested in playing in some snow wheeling. I want to try snow camping too. To be honest, guys, I don't really like the cold, which is ironic for where I live. You know, like I said, I used to ride snowmobiles and stuff, but actually, like, being outside semi-stagnant is not really that enjoyable, in my opinion. I don't really like being cold. I'm actually much more of a warm weather person. Not that I like sweating, but I much prefer... Danielle always likes to joke that I start my, will be correct here, complaining. She uses a different term, but my complaining season, anything under about 70 degrees. Once it gets below 70, I'm like, oh, it's cold. So I like between 70 and 90-ish is kind of my preferred temperature range, ideally out west where it's more dry. But yeah, so we're gonna try some winter camping. Like I mentioned, I am looking at and entertaining some diesel heater sponsorship videos from a couple different brands. I am also looking at a gas heater, which I'm really hopeful on, and I'll talk more details about that if that comes to fruition. But I am very interested in testing some different heaters to help not only mine, but obviously the dog and Danielle's pleasure when winter camping. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. We'll see what happens here. I've got a couple slots left throughout the year for some content, so I'm looking to fill that up. And speaking about content, I did just re-update my website. It was something I kind of built in the beginning, and I updated some things on my build list and some of the recommended gear. I'm trying to post more articles or blogs, whatever you want to call them, on my website. A lot of it's going to be tips, tricks, reviews, gear, that kind of stuff. So if you guys haven't already checked it out, it's triplelockadventures.com. There's a thing at the bottom. You can subscribe to my newsletter if you want to get those articles. I'm trying to be better about it. I'm going to try to post, if I'm doing like a review or something, or gear, I'm going to try to post an article that accompanies my YouTube videos as well, so you kind of get a little bit more long-form content. But also, you know, just tips and tricks and stuff like that on there. So feel free to check that out. I would love that. The other thing I really need to get better at, and this is just my personal pitfall, I guess you want to say, is I'm really bad about posting on Instagram. I've never really been a huge Instagram person, and I know a lot of people do enjoy it. Personally, I don't know, the stories and all these different things that you have to post, I just not really that interested in it. And I know you guys do enjoy it, so throw some comments below if you guys would like to see that more. I'm gonna try to put some more effort into making posts. I just hate it. So if you guys are an influencer or somebody that does a lot of Instagram stuff, help me out. Shoot me some comments below or DM me if you feel more comfortable doing that. What are some tips and tricks that you found, especially if you don't enjoy doing it? You know, what do you guys do to get more consistent, or maybe some tools you guys use to make shorts and reels and stuff like that? Like what has helped you guys? Because I do want to provide more content for you guys on that, and I don't know, I'm really struggling with it. I just don't enjoy it. Every time I try it, I'm not happy. So let me know in the comments below. What else, guys? Yeah, there's some interest. I am working on something for my website as well. I don't want to spill the beans completely, but I will let you guys know that I am looking at launching some merch. I'm trying to figure it all out because there's a lot involved in that, and I want to make sure that I'm providing stuff that I think is like cool designs, but also like quality product for you guys. And I'm trying to figure out the best ways to do that. Again, if you guys do also sell merch, shoot me some DMs or something on your experiences. I think I figured out at least how I want to start doing it, but I don't want to say apprehensive, but I'm just kind of like, I want to make sure all my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed, and that I'm doing it right and not just throwing stuff out there, you know? And of course, I'm trying to figure out what's the best cost that's, you know, obviously I want to make money doing it to contribute back to this channel. That, you know, like I want to buy a tripod for my camera, and like there's a lot of stuff I want to buy for this channel, but I mean, I'm not a millionaire here, not even remotely close. So buying that stuff is not really in my wheelhouse, to be honest. So I'm trying to find ways to make money to reinvest in this channel and provide better content for you guys. So not only do I want to provide that kind of product for you guys, but I want to do it with a quality product, like I mentioned, but also at like a fair cost. Obviously I need to make some money on it, but I don't want to like have it so expensive that you guys like, it's not like, you know, you don't want to be buying like a super expensive hoodie or something. Like that's not what I'm here to do. You know, I also can't give it away for free, but so I'm trying to figure all that out. So updates on all that stuff. Let me think. That was a rough railroad crossing. Gotta love having a truck on good suspension with 35s. Just hit that at 56 miles an hour, didn't notice. Oh, one thing, stay tuned for this. My product should be arriving next week, so I need to do testing on it, make sure everything's working, but stay tuned. Pending if this product comes in early enough in the week and I have enough time, I have a really exciting product that I think the entire GX460 community is going to be really excited for. It's something I have been searching for since, well, the second I modified my vehicle. So it is something that has not been out on the market, and I'm really interested to launch this one. So stay tuned. Hopefully it all works out, because that was like a big lead up to nothing if it doesn't work out. But stay tuned, and that should be launching next week if everything works out. Ooh, that MagnaFlow sounds good. Yeah, what else, guys? Winter's coming. Winter is kind of here. It's getting cold, so I'm trying to do a lot of little things on the vehicle to get it, you know, dialed, because as you guys probably already know, I do have a garage. It's a single bay garage. We just live in a townhome. My truck does not fit in it. I can get the nose of the truck up until the rooftop tent inside my garage, but that's it. So like oil changes and all that stuff really sucks to do in the winter. Gear oil, like everything sucks. I have a really single car driveway that's on a really steep angle, so it's sketchy to work on the truck in the first place, and doing it in the winter just sucks. I mean, being in the Northeast, I would really love to buy a house with like a pole barn or some property. I would love to do that. Danielle and I mean, it's not in the cards right now, but it's something we've really considered, is buying some property somewhere, even if we're not buying a house on it or building a house. You know, if it's something that we can, even if it was something that we could just go to maybe be a hunting property, and maybe even like be able to camp out of, that would be really cool. So we'll see. It's not in the cards right now, but it's something we would really love to do. I mean, my dream would be to have like a cabin somewhere, kind of like not off-grid, but maybe off-grid or maybe slightly on-grid property that I could have a cabin on, and maybe like a big pole barn or something to have some equipment, you know. Maybe some Kubota tractors and stuff. I would love that. Although maybe even a little homestead. That'd be my real dream, but we'll see, guys. So that's really all the updates I have this week. Hopefully this video is not dragging on too long, but I appreciate you guys joining me this week. Once again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope you enjoyed your time either with yourself or your family or your friends. And thanks for joining me this week. Drop some comments below. Like always, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, drop some comments below. Love you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.